Richmond Real Producers, your publisher, Kristen Brinley, and I'm here with Kyle Yeatman. Hi, Kyle.
Hey.
Thank you so much for being with us. And, Kyle, your accolades, I mean, holy moly, you're number one in volume for the last 6 years in a row for Richmond, which is kind of a large deal. And, RVA's best, you won it top three 6 years in a row, voted best workplace the last 4 years. In 2020, you were ranked number 2 in the country by Wall Street Journal. And then that was for large teams in 2020. And then you went up to the mega team. And in 2021, you were number 37 in the entire country, which is, that's a pretty big deal. You've done over $2 billion in transactions. Kyle, 9 builders you represent, and you're in 4 areas now. Tell us about the areas you're in, because you're huge in Richmond, but you're in 3 more areas now too. Like where else are you?
Yeah, so we really focused on Richmond for our first 6 or 7 years in the business. And then this last year, we expanded into 3 new markets. The biggest one being the Hampton Roads, Virginia Beach area, which we're up to, I think, 7 agents in that area now and off and running there. And some smaller markets as well. South Central Virginia, the Farmville area. We have office right on Main Street in Farmville, which we're rolling. I went to Longwood, so it's kind of cool to go back to that area. And then the Bay River, Northern Neck, Deltaville area is another area of our focus. We've got an office there as well. And we actually opened another office in Richmond in that same period of time over in the West End to go with our South Side location.
Well, and what does 2023, 2024 look like for you? Are you looking to expand in more places? Like, what does that look like?
No, I don't think we'll grow in more different areas. We're just going to focus on growing the areas that we are and showing our value, meeting new agents, showing what we can bring to the marketplace, either to work with them as fellow agents or to have them as potentially part of our team, and just kind of growing what we do and expanding that way.
Well, so you're a real smart guy. You could do anything. Why real estate? Like, how did this happen? Tell us.
Kind of by accident, honestly. I ended up working for a large builder out of school, and that was supposed to be a 1-year hiatus and then go back to law school. But I fell in love.
Yeah.
Yeah. I fell in love with the industry and not necessarily the role that I was doing. I was a builder, actually. I was building and project managing a neighborhood, and just fell in love with the sales aspect of it. The marketing aspect, I had more interest in that. And I decided that if I did well in this industry, I could probably actually be happier and make more money than I could as an attorney, which was the original plan. And so it's really worked out well for me. But it's opened a lot of doors. It's challenging. I was always an athlete, so I fizzled out. I couldn't go any further in athletics. Wasn't going to go pro, so figured out how to make money. And this is as competitive as sports was for me, and so kind of gives me another outlet that way.
That makes total sense. What has been maybe like your biggest challenge as a realtor, but as a mega team leader? Like what's been most challenging and maybe most rewarding for you?
Well, the challenging part is I left my previous job because I was tired of managing people and wanted to sell. And so I got to do that for a few years, but then quickly, if you have success, there comes growth, right? And so you're right back to managing people, but it's a little different this time because I get to call the shots and kind of do it my way, which has made a world of difference. Challenges are continuing to teach a variety of different personalities and people that do things very differently, how you found success, and then teaching them that they don't necessarily need to mimic or mock you, but it's just the principles they need to get down, and then they make it their own. That sounds like a simple concept, but over time, the more different types of people and personalities you meet, it's always a challenge.
It's people. What do you think has been most rewarding?
Most rewarding has been seeing that effort pay off and seeing how it's changed, from a variety of different aspects, seeing how it's changed our customers' lives when they're able to purchase or get out of a home that they're trying to move from, but then also taking somebody, say, a teacher that, just got burned out of doing that wanted to try something else, to be able to be in charge of their own income potential and their own time, and seeing that when it pays off, it's everything.
Well, can you tell us about your business, like TYG, the setup, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so we started as I saw a huge gap from new construction representation. So coming from big builders, I worked at 3 of them. I saw smaller builders, when I say smaller, like 5 homes a year, all the way up to 50. Some guys literally working out of their pickup truck and whatnot. They're great builders, probably the best builders in our market. but maybe necessarily weren't doing a lot of the marketing things that could take their business to the next level, or building in the right areas, or getting the right buyers for them. So they were being successful building homes, but they were miserable doing it. And so helping them find their niche and be more who they were, and then marketing heavily to that niche, not only made them sell more homes, but they were happier doing it and more innovative as they were going about that. And then we learned that resale was a thing, right? And so we learned how to sell customers homes that were coming in to buy the new construction. And then we kind of got good at that. So a couple people on my team wanted to dabble in the online lead business, which we thought had a lot of similarities to meeting people in a model home. So it's kind of a cold meet, right? And then you warm it up, and then you form a relationship or not. And so we got really good at online leads, and then we were able to systemize that. I'm a big systems guy, and so putting systems in place to where we were giving our agents better, warmer, further down the funnel leads, and it kind of took off from there. So we have over 70 people now. We're very specialized. We market as a big team, which we think enables our marketing dollars to go a lot further. In my history of running some bigger builders, I learned where money works, where it doesn't. So I feel like we focus on areas that work really well for us, and we're able to pivot quickly. And we've got marketing people on staff. We've got in-house salespeople that make our leads that much warmer for the agents once they get them. We have this little thing we call Match.com for real estate, which is matching a lead with the agent on our team that is the most likely to click with them. So it's a better experience for everybody, and it's worked out really well for us.
That's fantastic. That sounds like a pretty darn good way to do things. Can you define success for us? Like, what does success mean to you, Kyle?
Success means to me to be able to focus on what you want to do and not necessarily what you have to do. I think anybody starting out, you need to do what you need to do to make ends meet, right? But then once you get in the business and have a little bit of confidence that, you're not paycheck to paycheck, then you can really focus on the areas that you want. And that's where I think real happiness occurs, because that's when you kind of get to another level of expertise, another gear, so to speak, where you can actually, everything around you gets a little easier, a little slower. And I think that's a big part of it. Obviously, financial freedom, opening up, being able to open up this life for other people that did not see that for themselves has been a part of my success, I think. And just maybe having respect amongst your peers in the business, whether that be other agents or lenders or whatever. When you hear people start to say what you're doing wrong or why they may not like you, I think that is a win in my book, because that means they're talking about you and that you're making an impact on the market at some level.
Can't have everybody love you, though. You did a great job at the Real Producers event, speaking at the mastermind. I appreciated that. Thank you.
It was fun. A lot of talent in that room for sure.
A lot of talent. Yeah. Well, a lot of talent right here, man. Tell us about your family.
Yeah, so I'm from a small town in the northern neck called Montross. Most people don't know where it is. It's not on the way to anywhere, so you have to be going there to get there. It's a river town. I was about 10 minutes from the Rappahannock River and about 10 minutes from the Potomac. The real rivers, the ones that you can actually navigate through, not the little creeks in the city that they call rivers. But so I grew up down there. It is a great area to visit. It's become a vacation destination for a lot of people, but when you're from there, you have very limited opportunity. So for me, it was always taking advantage of opportunities that I didn't have a whole lot of growing up. And so I was able to really latch on and have a little bit more hunger and drive, I think, than some people coming out to make something of myself once given the opportunity and being put in the position to do so. And my family, I grew up, so my parents split when I was really young. And so I had the luxury, I look at it as, of spending, 1 week with my dad, 1 week with my mom. And then my brother was opposite weeks for me. So we got to hang out on the weekends. So it was kind of a cool way to grow up. But I was raised by my grandmother mainly, who taught me a lot about how to treat people and how to do things the right way. And I think that's carried over into, kind of my guiding light on the business side.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. Hey, opportunity everywhere. And that's, I've noticed that in how you speak, like your mindset is so important. What are you currently learning?
I am learning, right now I'm diving deeper into the 7 Habits of Successful People, the Stephen Covey book. Read the book. Obviously, I'm not a big reader, but it's one of the few books that I've read and taken a lot from. But I've taken a class twice on it, the same class twice, which was interesting because I took a lot of things out the second time. I didn't take out the first. Put our leadership team through that as well. I'm learning about land development. So I became a developer about 1.5 years ago and doing our first big project. And typical me, instead of starting with a small one and learning, I'm jumping right in a huge, almost 200 unit subdivision and trying to figure that out, having never done that before. So paying a little bit of the dumb tax there, but learning along the way. Hopefully it'll be valuable, and trying to be better with numbers and accounting, the side of the business I don't love as much, but is a necessary evil to really understand what you're doing and get better. And so I like to have a lot of balls in the air. It keeps me kind of excited.
Is there any educational classes, mentors, or books that have the biggest like impact on you?
A lot of things, coming up through a couple national builders, every year there would be a new sales guru class that we would go through. And this was the only way to sell, right? And you had to learn everything about it, forget everything we told you last year. And then next year would start over and do the same thing. But all seriousness though, each one of those techniques had, 2 or 3 great facets to it. And I would try to adopt those into my own personal way of selling. And so I feel like it's not any one thing that I've done, but maybe the culmination of all of it that has kind of come together and really helped me. I had a mentor early on that was actually my sales trainer in the new construction world that actually works with me now. And she does a lot of our system stuff and online stuff. And she was instrumental for me, not only way more than learning how to sell, but learning how to be a functional adult and what to focus on, putting your priorities in order, and really made me more of a detail person than I probably was coming in. And now I'm a detail freak. And I learned that, a lot of success has to do with the minor tweaks that you make on the detail side. And I think I have a better understanding of that because of the training that a rigorous training, ruthless training that I had to go through in order to get released as an agent. And like one of the stories was I had to be able to read an 80-page contract upside down without making any mistakes before I could get off of training. And I had all the other people that were hired at the same time as me got off training months before I did and started making money before I did. But as soon as I got off, like I just catapulted past them because I learned the right way. And I owe that to her, I think.
That's quite a testament to that mentor. That's fantastic. What do you think sets you apart or makes you different, Kyle?
A couple things. I mean, I think there's 2 things that it's kind of weird talking about yourself like that, but there's 2 things that I think I do different at a higher level, maybe than some other agents that I've met or other people I've met is number one, I care a lot more. And I think that makes a difference. And I think people can feel that. I'm very passionate, for better or for worse. I take things personally, but allows me to own it and be accountable. And so I think that's a big deal. Number 2, again, growing up in an area where we didn't necessarily have a lot of opportunity or didn't have a lot, I saw a lot of people with a lot of nice things and I wanted that. And so for me, I think my hustles, it's a cliche word, but my grind is a lot harder. My work ethic may be a little bit tougher. Like when I say I really want something, I don't just say it because it's fun to say. Like I actually then immediately put the steps in place in order to what are the steps I need to do to get it, not just thinking about having it, and then act on those immediately. I think that's probably the biggest one is just hunger and drive.
Sounds like you do what you say what you do too, which
It's a gift and a curse though, right? Because sometimes you're not able to take a step back and appreciate what you have right now and what you've done because you're focused on what's next. So for me, it works.
What do you think has been like your greatest failure, and what did you learn from it?
I think a lot of my lessons in life were learned on the athletic sports side. Like I said, when I fizzled out there, it took me a while to learn how to pivot to what else was there in life, right? It was all sports growing up. And so being able to pivot, being self-aware and pivoting quickly and learning that success might not be what you thought it looked like or the path that you thought you were going to take, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to get there. And that once you get there, it won't even be better than what you'd originally planned on getting to. And so my success was in a completely different industry. I probably couldn't spell real estate before I got into it, but, found my niche and then ran with it. And then I think once you enjoy what you're doing, you put more effort and time into it and you just naturally become better at it, right? And so it was it's my sports now is the real estate side of it. And I think that's had a big part.
What do you do, or what's something you've done that you would absolutely recommend other real producers do?
Well, the real producers means they're already in the business. So one of my things that I had thought about was selling in another industry, I think helps tremendously when you come into real estate to get you a greater appreciation for what we do. It's a highly compensated industry for what we do, but it's also very tough to do. But if you've sold another industry like wait tables, bartend, for me, selling cars, I think you have a better appreciation for what we're doing and also a skill set that you can translate over into other industries. And so that would be one. And I think the ongoing one for me is just being curious and being humble, right? Like you never know when the next great idea is going to come, and you never know who it's going to come from. And for me in my life, it's always come from areas or people that I didn't expect it from. And some people that are way behind you, so to speak, on their journey, right? But they have the idea that you need at that time, and being not so close-minded to listen to it or put yourself in a position to hear it.
That's beautiful. I hope people listen to what you just said right there. Every business has like a secret weapon, someone, something they attribute a lot of success to. What would that be for you?
I mean, for us, I think it's our human capital and our business plan. And that's why I'm really testing it out this year, going into these other markets and making sure that we can duplicate that. But we have a way of providing support and culture that I think is very much needed in the industry. I couldn't imagine doing this as a solo agent. So hats off to all the agents that do it out there on their own. But we really provide a support system, not just training and leads, but it's way more to it than that. It's a culture. It's kind of a dysfunctional family, right? You kind of tell where you are you create self-awareness by bouncing off of other people. And I think we provide a big time atmosphere for that. We've got great leaders on our team that have actually done it. They didn't just get their knowledge from a classroom. They've done the hard knocks and they've been successful on their own. They could be on their own if they want, but they choose to be on a team. I think that says a lot. And then lastly, are the way we do leads. You know, a lot of big teams provide leads or buy leads, but we provide a lead that is much further down the funnel than a lot of other places that I've seen, and it allows our agents to be in a better position to create a long-lasting relationship, not only close a deal, but create a relationship that will go well beyond the sale, and teach you how to duplicate that. And so we kind of try to grow people to be less needy of what we provide them as a team, in hopes that they'll remember what we did for them and continue to grow with us down the road. And so we're excited to go in these new markets and hopefully open some doors for some new people that we have not been able to meet yet.
What do you want to be remembered for? So I know you're still a young guy, but what do you think you'd like to be remembered for?
I definitely want to be remembered as somebody that made an impact, right? One way or the other, whether that be something to follow or something not to follow, but making an impact and just being a rock solid, I guess, advisor, maybe pay it forward, you know, be a mentor for some people coming through, is always just being dependable and loyal and being there. Like, you know what you're going to expect from that type of person. And I think that would be the biggest impact I could make.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to share with our real producers or the people seeing this?
Surround yourself with people better than you are. That's been my real key to success, is people that see things differently. You know, there's a lot of people that hire everybody that's exactly the same as they are, or tells them how great they are. And you know, I did the opposite. I hired people that had the guts to tell me, you know, how garbage I was or what I was doing wrong. And that really helped me. Sometimes they were right, sometimes they were wrong, right? But having that other perspective lets you see the whole picture, and you can avoid a lot of mistakes that way.
Solid advice. Y'all, if you haven't read Kyle's story, make sure you do. It's our December issue. And thank you so much for being with us, Kyle.
Yeah, it's been fun. Thank you.